Hey, what's going on everybody? I recently released a bathroom renovation time-lapse video showing how I took the half bath you just saw and completely converted it into the full bath you're seeing now. One of the most common questions I saw in the comment section was asking, how much did it cost? This video is going to give you a detailed breakdown on every single material I put in this bathroom, from the fancy fixtures all the way down to the grout. So with that being said, let's get into the video. Okay, so before I could actually get started with the project, I had to apply with permits in my city. So as the homeowner, I was able to apply for and receive the building permit on my own, but I needed to get a licensed electrician and a licensed plumber to get my electrical and plumbing permits. So after a couple phone calls, I was able to find a local plumber and a local electrician
who would allow me to perform the work, and then they would come take a look at it once I was done, make sure everything looked okay, and then sign off on the permit.
So I ended up paying $100 for the building permit, and then the electrical permit was $225 and the plumbing permit ended up being $275 for a total permitting cost of $600. So once I had the permits in hand, it was time to rock and roll. So I did everything in this bathroom myself, so the demo was 100% free and I took care of all of that. So the subfloor was a little bit rotted out, so I took that out and I replaced that with 3/4 inch plywood, and then I also had to reframe the walls to make room for the new shower. So the 3/4 inch plywood was $40 a piece, and I bought 2 of those, and then the 2x4 framing studs, I bought 18 for a grand total for both of those to be $170. Once I had the floor in and I had the walls framed, it was time to take care of the rough-in plumbing. So as part of the rough-in plumbing, I had to cut out the existing cast iron pipe. I had a couple runs of 3-inch PVC, a couple runs of 2-inch PVC, some 1.5-inch PVC for the vents. I had to spend money on the PVC fittings and the glue, as well as the copper pipe for running the supply lines. I had to pay for solder, and I also had to buy a bunch of copper fittings. So I have an allowance for those, and as you can see, the grand total for all the rough-in plumbing costs was $387. So before I actually decided to do this bathroom 100% on my own, I did get a quote from a plumber to see what it would cost to do the rough-in plumbing. And you're looking at the quote right now. What you're seeing is a cost of around $3,000 just to do the rough-in plumbing. So basically $3,000 saved right there just by doing the rough-in plumbing on my own. Because my bathroom is so small, I needed to use a wall-hung toilet in order to get the code required clearance from the front of the toilet to the wall. So the reason I'm telling you this is because wall-hung toilets are stupid expensive. They're like 3 or 4 times more expensive than a standard toilet. So for the in-wall tank system, I spent $435. Yes, you heard that right. $435. For the actual toilet itself, I ended up spending $350. And then, of course, you know, it's a wall-hung toilet. It doesn't come with a toilet seat. You got to buy that separately. So I did, and that was another $47. So all in all, for a toilet, I spent $832. So if you're gonna be doing a bathroom on your own and you don't need to do some kind of crazy wall-hung toilet, you're looking at around $600 to $700 savings right there. So before I went and closed up the walls, there were a couple miscellaneous rough-in costs that I had to take care of. So I installed floating vanity brackets. Those were $60 and I had to purchase 2 of those. I had to install some electrical boxes. Those are marginal, around $1 a piece. I put 3 of those in for the outlets. I had to buy Romex electrical cable to obviously run the electrical up. That was $75 because I bought, I think, 150 feet. So obviously I had a lot left over from that. And then I bought some hardwired smoke alarms and some LED recessed lights. And you're seeing the price for all that listed right there. And the grand total for those miscellaneous roughing costs was just around $277. So at this point, it was time to close up the walls, and because I was going to tile my whole bathroom, I ended up putting cement board on the walls instead of gypsum board. So ended up needing to buy 12 3-foot by 5-foot 1/2-inch cement board units, just use Durock. That ended up being around $117, and then you have to buy the special backer-on screws and the alkali resistant tape to actually tape off those seams to make it one continuous unit. So basically for the mortar, the tape, the cement board itself, I spent around $243 as you're seeing on the screen. So after the walls were closed up, I transitioned over to the shower. So the first thing I did is I picked my shower waterproofing system, and I ended up going with the Curdy all-in-one waterproofing system. So that cost me around $336. I bought that on Amazon, and it was actually a pretty easy system that I would probably recommend if you're going to be considering a similar project. After that, I installed everything there. Pretty much everything was included: the membrane, the actual shower pan, the Curdy band that goes in the corner, so all that was included there. I did have to buy the shower drain grate separately and the Schluter all-set mortar, which is pretty expensive. You need to get the special kind for Schluter to maintain the warranty, so I ended up buying that. It's about $58 per bag. And then I had to buy a couple specialty tools like the 1/4 inch by 3/16 inch V-notch trowel, and I also had to buy the Schluter Ditra for the floor for the tile, since that was not part of the shower, obviously. The grand total for all of the waterproofing and the membranes for both the floor and the shower came in right around $538. Okay, now because 99% of this bathroom is covered in tile, let's move over to the tile costs. But before we do that, if you haven't done so already, please drop a like on the video if this information is helping you out. And if you like DIY content like this, and also maybe some cost breakdowns, please subscribe to my channel. I got a lot more content coming your way. Okay, back to tile. So I used a 12 inch by 24 inch porcelain tile for my walls. It was pretty cheap per square foot, only $1.90. I had to get about 120 square feet of that, so that was about $225 for the wall tile. For the shower, I went with 3 inch by 12 inch subway tile. It was 60 cents per tile, and I ended up needing 340 tiles for the herringbone shower. That added up to about $204. The hexagon floor mosaic tile for the shower was very cheap. It was about almost $3 per mosaic. Needed 12 of those, so that cost about $33. The hexagon floor tile was 11 inch by 13 inch, and it was $270 per square foot. Needed 20 square feet, and that came out to right around $53. The marble threshold was $19, and then I used some tile profiles to go around the shower niche and also around the shower curb. Those, I had to buy 3 of them. They were around 11, actually I bought 4 of those. They were $11 each, which put me around $44. Then I had to buy some more mortar. I went with epoxy grout because of the maintenance advantages. That was $99 per gallon, and I ended up needing 2 gallons to do all of the grouting in my bathroom. And then you see here at the bottom, I had some miscellaneous costs for the silicone for all the expansion joints, and then some of the tools like the epoxy grout float and sponges. And then lastly, I bought some epoxy grout haze remover to make sure I wasn't left with any grout haze, which cost around $28. So the grand total for all of the tile, caulk, mortar, grout, everything was $1,036. And finally, we're getting to all the finishing items and fixtures to complete the bathroom. So the vanity light that goes obviously above the vanity was $61, got that on Amazon. The light switches, I got some custom dimmable switches, so that ended up being around 50 to 60 bucks just for those. The vanity board that I got from Lowe's was only $9. The epoxy though, to waterproof that, was closer to almost 70, so that was 70 bucks there. The wall mount faucet and vessel sink came as a package, that was $313. The bifold shower door was $350. The shower head assembly was about $126, and the toilet paper holder and bottle trap were $11 and $37 respectively. The grand total for all of those came out to be $1,034. And right before I reveal the final cost, I wanted just to show you guys a quick reminder of where we started and show you how far we've come. So the moment you've all been waiting for, the final cost. Can I get a drum roll? No, okay. So the total permitting cost was about $600. The subfloor and framing cost was $170. The total rough-in plumbing cost came out to $387.50. The wall-hung toilet was around $832. The miscellaneous rough-in cost, such as the vanity brackets, etc., was around $277. To close up the walls with the cement board and the tape and the mortar was $243. The total waterproofing cost for the Schluter system and the Ditra on the floor came out to be $538. The grout, caulk, and mortar came out to $1,036. And the finishing items like the bifold shower door and the floating vanity and the sink and things like that came out to $1,034. And the grand total, when you add all those up, was $5,118. So when I added everything up, I was actually surprised by how much it was. I thought it was closer to 3.5 or 4K in my mind, but it was actually a little bit more than that. Keep in mind that I went with some high-end fixtures. I had a wall-hanging toilet that is just stupid expensive. So if you're considering a DIY bathroom remodel on your own, this is probably going to be the more expensive end of materials. So hopefully this gave you a good idea of what it's going to cost to remodel your bathroom. If this video helps you out and provided value, I really would appreciate if you could subscribe to my channel and drop a like and a comment down below on any of the costs that maybe surprised you. But any engagement really helps me out with the algorithm. I really do appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.